ADD versus the life dream. So, for my entire life, I've pretty much born with ADD, as far as I'm concerned, which showed up when I was a kid, very young, and only being interested in things that I was interested in and nothing else. Now I fully understand it. I've done so many experimentations on it, and I've tried to understand how to actually fulfill the life dream, which is my life dream, one of them, the hardest one, is to build a crazy device to communicate through hyperdimensions. That sounds insane, it sounds exaggerated, but it's true. And I've come to this conclusion by chasing something, impulses from another place, which sound completely bizarre, I know. And there is this world of spiritualists and there's a world of science, and I'm somewhere stuck in the middle with a crazy idea. But I believe it. So I've been trying to do that, and I've invested a lot of time and a lot of money into machines and research and experimentation materials for years to try and pull off building one of these prototypes. But it's exceedingly hard. It's very easy to burn out when you're trying to focus on something. I've come to the conclusion that I've only been able to achieve in this life when I have been in a high state of stress. And so I've always become frustrated because I have attempted projects and they've always run aground because my state, in order to execute a task, runs out because I'm in an unsustainable state of stress in order to prop my brainwaves up or upregulate my dopamine so that I can go through a day in, day out, and do what's required without timing out. So there is a war inside my mind between this ADD and my dreams. It's a genetic thing. I'm under the strong impression it runs on my dad's side of the family, and it's particularly the males on that side of the family are particularly susceptible to it. Even when we were very young, from the age of 12, we called a phenomena that we noticed in the males in the Cox side of the family the Cox darkness, because my last name is Cox, English name, and we called it the Cox darkness because we noticed it. But when I was a teenager, it started to kick in for me, and it was like a monster. It's a cross between, for me, it's a trifle. It's a cross between ADD, Asperger's, and depression, or two of them equaling the third. I'm not sure. And so throughout my whole life, I've tried to outthink it. I've tried to supplement myself. I've tried to do health regimes and routines. I've done an untold amount of experiments with my diet, with my sleeping patterns, with my exercise, with meditation. I've pulled up the carpet on research, essentially, and I'm always looking for new trains of thought. I haven't covered absolutely everything, but I've done a lot of experimentation on the universal basics of like nutrition, specifically focused on that. Tried every single combination, or exercise, tried to do that, tried to do the balance, tried to do a holistic approach, as in incorporating every pillar in life that can make someone happy. And the conclusion I've come to is, without going into further detail about that, is that there doesn't seem to be enough to go around. And I can upregulate my thoughts. I figured out how to do that intentionally. It's a form of mania. It's the only way I can operate and output energy like a normal human. My default state is more of a wilted nature. And this is the truth. This is the truth because I'm acutely aware of how my mind works and functions, understand my introvert nature and why I need time to go off and recharge and be in a quiet space. It's so that I can have enough energy to pull a card when I need it. But whenever I have tried to do something, there is a time in which I must take a break, because the energy supply that I've been turning up just runs out, and I become essentially numb. I just burn out, essentially. Then symptoms like chronic fatigue start kicking in, and that can be quite strong. And when that's going on, my coordination might be off. They're all like subtle things, but it's because my brain stops squirting out dopamine and I can't keep myself in that manic state. So I go through these periods which last from 1 to 6 months of recharge, because that's how long it takes for me, where I sleep a lot, I focus a lot on nutrition, I become religiously disciplined with health and just try and cover all areas, upgrade my research, and kind of try and wait for that moment where I can kick it all off again. I've just gone into one of these states recently because I was attempting to start a side business, which I still have hope for, but I'm taking a break from it because it coincides with I got blacklisted from Etsy because of an algorithm glitch, which is nothing, I didn't do anything wrong, but essentially they blacklisted me and didn't provide exact reasons why, but they just said that that's what happened. And that kind of I just needed a break. So I'm using this as like this window as a mini period to try and get things up and running again with me, because I can feel that I've tethered and need to get that happening. So what's it all mean? I've come to the conclusion that this is a thing that I just have to work with throughout my life, and I'm hoping and still looking for a solution. I'm always trying to avoid taking ADD-based medications such as Ritalin, Vyvanse, like amphetamine-based medication. I don't want to be taking that all the time if I can help it. It could be a special occasion type thing, but I've always tried to do the natural path, and I've always tried to have the correct amount of neurochemical transmitters operating correctly in my brain so that I can do it the correct way. I've been very, very, I had a hawkful eye on myself, making sure that, is this like a negative thing that I'm projecting out into the world, and I'm literally just receiving back a mirror of my thoughts? Is it my fault? I don't think so. My baseline behind the scenes is optimistic. There's great optimism and positivity, and when I am in a good state, I'm very, very interested in fasting. I've been doing it for years because I can get to a state with fasting where I just feel like I could do anything. It's just short-lived. There's this crossover period between when your metabolism starts to taper off and you get this energy and clarity. And it's like I'm just functioning correctly, and things work up until I have to cycle it again because of it's like a little hack. It's another one of my hacks to try and get my brain to work, but it just doesn't last. There's a flip side of that. But in these windows, I really get to see that my mind, it's not that I'm putting out a negative brainwave by choice. It's because when I am stressed, when my neurotransmitters aren't working correctly, it puts me in that state. This is what I really, really believe, because I'm a very resilient person and always trying to find the correct path and always chasing after the hard path, because I believe it is the best path. Not that it's hard, but the disciplined path. And it just hasn't worked. I feel so clearly that sometimes my brain literally just fails me and it refuses to work. I can't meditate my own way out of it. I can't think my way out of it. It's a deficient. It's a hardware fault. Because if I had the correct neurotransmitters, I believe I could rule my own world. I believe I would be able to execute my path in building this space portal. It sounds so ridiculous, but it's actually true. It's the truth. It's an unexaggerated truth of what my life path is. I get jealous of people that have resources that can keep going and that can pull it off, because that's where I'm meant to be. That's my future. That is a successful future for me. I need resources to do this, and I do want to do it. I can wait, but not forever. So the theory in all this is that if you've got ADD, it's not an excuse, but everything is choice to a degree, but to a large degree, it's not choice at all. It's not. If your hand is too close to a fire, you'll retract. You'll not have the mind power to be able to keep it close to the fire. That's like an automation. That's not so much a conscious choice. That's a subconscious pre-programmed choice of the subconscious mind. My theory and argument is that sometimes, for some reason, we're not gifted with the genetic lottery, and it can just ruin things. And I'm looking for solutions to the problem that is impeding my life purpose, and I'm targeting it from every possible angle to try and fix it. But it's not good enough, and it needs to be. I need some kind of breakthrough, or I just need to take the amphetamine-based medication. Because I don't know what else to do, and I'm getting impatient and frustrated. And I'd like to be able to output energy on a consistent level without falling asleep or going into trance or just timing out or having my body feel like it weighs 1,000 kilograms. As you would know, people with ADD know what that feels like. So yeah, this is like a little thought video for people to relate to and hopefully get something from. But this is like where I'm at in the journey. And yeah, my frustrations that I'm expressing is that if I knew how to get my brain to work so that I could do what was needed to fulfill my dreams, I would do it. I have not found that avenue, and I'm reluctant to take the amphetamine medication because I understand enough about how if you put anything into the system, it's going to create side effects, essentially. It's just something I'm really trying to, it's the last resort, because it has side effects. I've taken it before. It has side effects, which I don't like. And yeah, I'm trying to do it the natural way. So if anyone has any ideas or links to resources, let me know. I'm gonna put a little clip at the end of this video, which are slides, and expressing my fantasy about what would be. It's something that came to me in a dream one night, but it's become a fantasy of how I fantasize about such things in the future, and that they might be possible to fix the minds of the people that are not by choice inefficient, but by hardware. And yeah, let me know what you think.
I am bored with these simulants. I am tired of them. They are so complacent these days. I know what I will do. I will restrict their reward center capabilities and make it so that they will only be stimulated if they are achieving greatness. Yes, that is what I will do. It will act as a catalyst to bring forth the fruits that I intended for them and the fruits I have been waiting for.
It was figured out years ago that the singularity, nature selectively modified parts of the genome in roughly 3% of the human race. Some theorized and called it nature's latest experiment, an experiment in order to bring forth a new God, a collective mind superior to all. If this theory is correct, it is now clear that nature succeeded. Our organization exists, and we are here to reverse this genomic modification so that you will no longer be driven to do what has already been done. Your baseline equilibrium as a human will be granted by the doctor.
I will undo everything that has been done. I will now take your mind and condense it into perfection.